Let's get to the hate list, though. And friend of the show, Matthew, Tony Pollard, headlines it.
Yeah, unfortunately, we really like Tony Pollard. Unfortunately, we don't like the timeshare that he's in. Tyjae Spears came out last week and played on 68% of the pass plays. Again, they were trailing a little bit, but still, 42% of the snaps. That's what Tony Pollard played last week. You see it right there on your screen. 42% of the snaps. That was a season low. And it's not, I don't think it's a coincidence that his season low happened in the first game that Tyjae Spears was back, right? It's not a great matchup against the Patriots. They allow the second fewest rushing yards per game to running backs. And so you've got a guy that's in a timeshare, in a tough matchup, in a game in which we think, honestly, the Patriots are rolling right now. Like, Drake May looks great. Mm-hmm. And so in a game in which they're probably trailing, Tennessee's probably trailing with a new head coach. I mean, there's lots of variance here, but, could they be inspired by a new head coach, or could it just be a disaster because it's all disorganized? It could go either way. I think the Patriots are up in this game. They're trailing, they're throwing, and that means it's Tyjae Spears, not Tony Pollard.
Yeah, and it's no shock to see Tyjae Spears in this particular role. That goes back to his rookie year when he played with Derrick Henry. There was a lot of weeks where Tyjae Spears played more snaps in the game than Derrick Henry, and he ended up catching 50-plus passes as a rookie. So if the Titans are losing, which they are most of the time, you're going to see a lot of Tyjae Spears.
Indeed. Also some uncertainty, Lawrence, in Arizona around the running back usage. Also not 100% on the quarterback, but between Bam Knight and Michael Carter, tough matchup against the Packers run defense.
Yeah, I wouldn't twist your neck playing any one of these Cardinals running backs. And I say
maybe
Cardinals,
that's what you did. Maybe that's what you did.
That's exactly what I did. And the reason I say Cardinals running backs, because I don't know which one to talk about here, because we don't even know which one we should put in our lineup. Last week, by committee, they carried the ball 21 times for only 69 yards against the Colts. No player has averaged more than 3.8 yards per carry last week. You see what they did to Chase Brown last week.
Yeah.
This Green Bay defense, 11 touches, 49 yards. And that's one guy. So now you got Bam Knight, Michael Carter, probably a carry or two for DeMercado.
If he's healthy, yeah.
It's just not pretty for that backfield going up against Green Bay's top run defense.
Yeah, I agree with you. If I had to pick one, it'd be Bam Knight. He's shown the most, and they seem to trust him. But yes, in an ideal world, you're avoiding that situation.
The crazy thing is, remember, we got that update that said Bam Knight was going to be the guy. Yeah. Michael Carter ended up starting and getting 4 or 5 carries before Bam Knight even got on the field. So that's what's confusing about it.
But the person that made that report got bailed out because Bam Knight got into the touchdown.
Did he?
Yeah.
Comment from Raise the Flags, dumpster diving, PPR, Michael Mayer, Bam Knight, Zach Charbonnet, Cam Johnson, or should I just not watch football this week?
Yeah, I think, honestly, not until Sunday night. You should always watch Sunday Night Football on NBC and Peacock. Of course, I'm a company man. You know what? Charbonnet would be interesting in a normal week because he is splitting with Ken Walker. It's a pretty good offense, and they seem to like Charbonnet around the goal line. But they're playing Houston this week. Houston off of a bye, right? Houston's had 2 weeks to prepare for this. They've little over the last month, no team has been better against the run than the Houston Texans. So I actually think the answer here is Michael Mayer. And they used him a lot. Jacoby Myers on the trade block. I think there's a decent chance that Jacoby Myers does not play this week, either because he's truly injured or because they trade him or because they want to keep him off the. They don't want him to get injured because they do want to deal him, and Jacoby wants out. So I think that there's mutual agreement, and probably him not playing and hurting his chances of getting to another team. So I think Mayer is very likely the number one pass target for Geno Smith in a game which they should be trailing, right? I mean, we don't expect Brock Bowers to play in this game. They're on the road at Kansas City. Chiefs have struggled against tight ends a little bit. Laporta had a nice game last week. So I think the answer is there is Michael Mayer.
Can you imagine, start of last year, the Raiders have got Devontae Adams, Jacoby Myers, Brock Bowers. You tell Raiders fans, 14 months from now, your number one pass catching option is going to be Michael Mayer.
Yeah, with Trey Tucker and Jack Besh or something. It's just, good times.
Cam Scatterboo, who is talk of the town. Vibes are off the charts for the Giants fans. It's kind of sickening at the moment, really. Backup producer Pete, after the Eagles win last week, he sent me a text message without any context saying, I am invincible, I will never die. Which is just an absolute disgrace of a message to send another man.
Well, here's what that is. Can I interpret that for you? Once again, so here's what happens. Backup producer Pete, when he watches the Giants, especially on a standalone game, like he works Sundays, believe it or not, on Football Night in America. He's part of our crew there. No one gets it. I get it. But what happens is like it's a Thursday night, and so there's Pete, once at home, ignoring his children, probably not wearing pants, watching these Giants, watching the Giants take it to the Eagles. It's the greatest night of backup producer Pete's life, and so he is drunk.
Yeah.
You got drunk texted, and I think shout out to Mrs. Backup Producer Pete, because God knows what that woman puts up with, right? But like at least like he's drunk texting you, and not
exactly.
some high school flame or whatever.
Sure.
He's drunk texting you.
About his invincibility.
And so that's what that is.
Yeah.
He was completely drunk out of his mind.
He's texting you with no pants.
Yeah,
with no pants.
Troubling.
No pants.
Troubling. Well, another guy I'm not sure wears pants around the house, and good for him. Bam Bam Wrecking Cam Scatterboo. Quite a caption there, coming off the Bam Night discussion, no less.
He took his shirt off in the postgame.
Exactly.
This is not a man that can be contained by clothing.
The vibes are unbelievable at the Meadowlands. But you saw the workload has just been incredible, even with Tyrone Tracy coming back. Cam Scatterboo still saw 72% of the snaps. He's getting red zone carries.
Yeah.
He's getting even some pass game work as well. But going up against the Broncos, this is different. And I understand the Eagles are supposed to have a good defense. Well, they haven't had a great defense lately, and they're also missing Jalen Carter and Quinyon Mitchell in that defense. So the Jets
He fell into the end zone 3 times. Like, again, he had a good game, and the Giants overall were good, but like that was Tyrone Tracy's first game back. And I certainly wouldn't start Tyrone Tracy, but Tyrone Tracy probably gets a ramped up workload. Scatterboo is still the guy you're going to want to start if you have to start a Giants running back, but there's going to be enough Tyrone Tracy that annoys you if you're starting Cam Scatterboo. So I get the concern here against Denver.
Broncos probably the best defense in football as well.
Hey, it's Matthew Berry from NBCSports.com and RotoWorld.com, and I want to thank you so much for watching whatever it is you just watched, or if nothing else, being too lazy to click out of the autoplay after this video started, after whatever it is you actually wanted to watch finished. But now that you're here, I'd like to take a moment here to ask you respectfully now, okay? I'm asking you respectfully to subscribe to the NFL on NBC YouTube channel. You'll get the latest RotoWorld fantasy news headlines, all sorts of great shows, including my own Fantasy Football Happy Hour. So go subscribe now. Again, I'm asking respectfully.